What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 208, and we start today's episode off by seeing that the board have come to us regarding Alexis Sanchez and said they are going to sell Alexis Sanchez. The decision is now out of my hands, and they have apparently accepted an offer from another team, but Sanchez is still here, and we're not in the January transfer window yet. So, yeah, I don't really know what to do. I mean, you know, the transfer window does now open. It was only, I think, a day or two out before the transfer window opened when I got that email. But even so, the transfer window wasn't open, and they'd already accepted an offer from someone. Yet he's still here. So what's going on right now? Is Sanchez going? Is he staying? What's going on? I have literally no idea. This is absolutely terrible. But yeah, Sanchez is apparently leaving. The board have taken it out of my hands. I can't offer him a contract, as you saw in the last episode. I can't disallow transfer bids and so on and so forth. Sanchez is most likely going to be leaving, but I don't know where. I don't know when. All I know is the board want to get rid of him and Sanchez wants to leave. There's nothing I can do about it. So I don't know what's going on right now. I think a team's been tapping up Sanchez behind my back, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. If he does leave, which I'm pretty sure he will, I guess we'll probably see an email regarding his sale, but I don't have literally no idea what's going on. How on earth the board managed to sell him, or apparently selling, before the transfer window is beyond me. Still, Luke Garbutt and Werber Carboni, those two players right there are the two players we might be looking to bring in January, as the transfer window has now opened. Of course, we looked at Luke Garbutt in the summer, but Borussia Dortmund said we weren't meeting their demands, so they basically just said stop contacting us. And as for Werber Carboni, now he's a goalkeeper I'd like to replace Szczesny with long term. His contract is up at the end of the year. He's 24 years old, so if I want, I can sign him on a pre-contract, but I like him right now. As much as I like Chris Ince as a goalkeeper, I'd like a better one right now, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. If we can't negotiate a deal, then we'll just take on a pre-contract for next season. And also, as we do enter a new month, as we do enter January, you can see a look at the squad report and also a look at the league table as well. So as you can see the players right now, lots of healthy attribute changes for a lot of good players. There are a couple, of course, who are decreasing right now as they are coming towards the latter stages of their career, I guess is the best way of saying that. But for the most part, I'm pretty pleased with the squad we have right now. And coming into January with about £50 million to spend, give or take a few million due to the wage budget, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we got. We might put off one or two signings, but other than that, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Still, look at the league table, 19 games in, 45 points, with 5 points clear of Stoke. 7 clear of Manchester City, and we have a game in hand on both of those teams. Pretty healthy position for us right now. Of course, still a long way to go, still half of the season to go for us, but even so, things looking pretty rosy as things stand. But as for Sanchez, well, you know, when it comes down to what we're going to be doing in January, approaching January, my aim was to possibly sign Luke Garbutt and maybe try and sign the goalkeeper as well. But now I'm wondering whether to save my money in case I need to replace Sanchez, because I still don't know what's going on. Like, I'm pretty sure he is going to be leaving the club, but I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know how much we're going to get for him, if we get anything for him. I've literally no idea what's going on. The board are handling it, but they're making a right mess of it, let's just say that. Even so, we take on Everton for the first game of today's episode here as we travel to Goodison Park. So taking on Everton, definitely fancying our chances right now, despite our last league game being a draw against Sunderland, which we were really disappointed about, and we had to wait until the 88th minute before grabbing an equaliser through and Yang. But coming into this game, definitely fancied our chances regardless, and the first chance did fall to us in the 4th minute, and the first goal will be scored by us as well. And guess who scored it? Well, he just can't stop scoring goals, and Yang, of course, my boy, turning in this cross from Kieran Gibbs. And Gibbs, of course, don't forget, will be included in any bid we make for Luke Garbutt, as we won't need him if we do go ahead and sign the former Everton left back, funnily enough, who we're taking on right now. Yeah, so Gibbs may be playing one of his final games for the club if that deal does come off, and he gets an assist there and makes it 1-0. And Gibbs, despite being 31 right now, has actually developed really nicely. He's an 84 rated left back, so we don't need to sign Garbutt, but even so, I would like a new world-class defender, and still, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Still, it was 1-0 to Arsenal, but not for too long, so in the 14th minute, Everton did indeed equalise. Christian Benteke got the goal, and the former Aston Villa striker puts it past Chris Ince and makes it 1-1. So, sadly for us, Ince can't keep out the shot there, and Everton do indeed equalise here at Goodison Park. And to be honest, it just epitomised exactly why I really really do want Luke Garbett, because our defence is our biggest problem. This year we have scored so many goals, it's crazy. But the fundamental problem with me, with whatever team I'm managing, usually is defence. I can't defend, and here at Arsenal we don't have any world-class defenders or goalkeepers, let's be fair. I mean, Gibbs is an 84 rated left back and is very good. Right back Callum Chambers 81 overall, and then the centre back partnership right now is Ryan Sarr 82 and Murray Williams at 80 or possibly 81 I think now, which is okay. But, you know, there's no world-class defenders there. So having a world-class defender, whether he plays fullback or centre-back, really would help, to be honest. But still, it's 1-1, and it was still 1-1 going into the break. And in the 55th minute here, as Sanchez goes down this left-hand side, he drills it across and picks out Aubameyang, who makes it 2-1. So Aubameyang gets the goal there, and Sanchez, potentially playing his last game for the club, does get a very nice assist. And again, it's one of those drill crosses. We know how overpowered they are, and so does Sanchez, clearly, as he drills it across, and Aubameyang just... he knew exactly what to do, he knew exactly where to be, and he knows exactly how to finish. So another goal for Aubameyang, his second of the game, and we do retake the lead in this game at Goodison Park. So Niang makes it Everton 1, Arsenal 2. And ready from kickoff as Lazari wins the ball back for us here, a great chance on the break. But as Debussy gets tackled by Kevin Morales, he picks out Christian Benteke, who finds Bruno. The three Belgians link up here, and as Bruno takes it round his man, he keeps on going, plays a fantastic through ball out wide towards Kevin Morales, who takes his time, plays it inside to Benteke, and Benteke's shot hits the side netting and should have found the back of the net. A pretty tight angle, but it was very close to the goal and probably should have at least, if nothing else, hit the target. But it was still 2-1, but from the goal kickers in plays it forward, we lose out in the air, Morales plays it through, and Christian Benteke shows his teammate how to finish, puts it past Chris Ince, and the Belgian striker makes it Everton 2, Arsenal 2. So Everton back on level terms pretty soon after conceding the goal that we had scored, and Benteke again was an absolute monster in this game. He was so hard to contain. I mean, I know my defending's poor, I know this defence isn't very strong, but it's so hard to, you know, marking a player of Benteke's size, his power, his strength, his pace is just unbelievably difficult. And factor that in with the fact he's a really good finisher of the ball and usually in really good positions, it's so hard to defend against a player like that. But it was still Everton 2, Arsenal 2. Lazari goes pretty close there, but the score was still level. And in the 70th minute here, as Morales crosses the ball in, it's headed away but not thoroughly dealt with. It comes to McCarthy. McCarthy finds Bruno, and Massimo Bruno makes it Everton 3, Arsenal 2. So Everton take the lead in this game for the first time, Bruno getting a goal, and again it's pretty poor defending, and you can see why I'm prepared to spend the big bucks on a defender like Luke Garbett, who will be a world-class player for us, because it will help us, you know, the whole back line will get a boost, you know, having a world-class player in that back four. And as you can see, it was 4-2 in the 77th minute. Ross Barkley compiling the misery for the Arsenal fans, and you know, to be leading this game 2-1 and then concede 3 goals unanswered, that's just not good enough. It really isn't. Barkley puts it in, and don't forget, we've got a Champions League round of 16 tie against Real Madrid to come very soon. If we defend anywhere, you know, anything like this against Real Madrid, especially at the Bernabeu, it could get very, very ugly very soon. Like, we could be losing by 5 goals. Despite how great we've been this season, we've won the vast majority of games, we've scored an impressive amount of goals this season in most competitions, but, you know, playing Real Madrid in the round of 16, if we defend anywhere close to this, we will just be getting absolutely murdered. Christian's made a great save there, but it was how the game would finish, 4-2 to Everton. So sadly for us, that's now 2 games without a win, 1 loss and 1 draw in the Premier League. Not very good for a team who are currently sitting top of the table and have been having a fantastic season up to that point, but that was very, very poor indeed, and I hold my hands up. I had a very terrible game myself, and there you go. Still, Cagliari weren't happy with the bill we put in for Werver Carboni, so we put in a new one for him. 87 overall at 24 years old. He's definitely the goalkeeper I'd want as a long-term replacement for Szczesny, so we'll put in a new bid and we'll wait and see what they say. Obviously, don't forget, if these deals don't come off, we can sign him on a pre-contract for free, so we're not going to be too fussed if we don't get him in January, because we can get him in the summer for free if we'd like to do so. But Borussia Dortmund want more money for Luke Garbett plus Kieran Gibbs, which I'm not against doing, because I do like Kieran Gibbs, but we do want that world-class defender, 88 overall, 27 years old, so 4 years younger. I'd prefer to have him in my club, even if it does mean spending a hell of a lot of money. A bid for Ryo Miyaichi. Monaco want our Japanese winger for £13.5 million. We are ask for £30 million, and we'll wait and see what they say. We take on Derby County for the final game of today's episode here as they come and take us on at the Emirates Stadium. Of course, on the back of that very disappointing loss to Everton by 4-2. Despite that, we were still going to be fancying our chances. We did beat Derby away at the, I think it's called the iPro Stadium now, but it'll always be known as Pride Park to me. We beat them away from home regardless by 5-0. That's our biggest win so far as Arsenal manager. So we were still going to be fancying our chances despite that very disappointing loss to Everton. Of course, Derby are still sitting in the relegation zone, still struggling to pick up points right now. So despite the loss, we were still going to be predicting a win, and of course nothing other than a win would be acceptable for us really. And also a side note as well, I did put both teams in their classic kits just because I don't know why, I'm a sucker for classic kits, I really am. But still, we take on Derby, and the first chance would fall in the 37th minute, and it was a goal for us as well. And guess who scored it? Obviously, and Yang was the goal scorer for us, getting on the end of this cross from the corner and making it 1-0. So it was a pretty poor game up until this point, to be honest. 37 minutes in, nothing had really happened before Niang got the goal. But to be honest, it was a pretty poor game for the most part. I mean, nothing else happened in the first half. In the second half, a few minutes after the restart, Derby had their first chance here with McNamee finding Hendrick, who plays that wide towards Coots. Coots cuts inside and plays it inside towards Rojas on loan from us, and Ince makes the save. And it was still 1-0, and it was a really poor game. In the 54th minute, Niang finds Lazari here, who does make it 2-0 as he gets past Forsyth and finesses the ball past the goalkeeper. But despite being 2-0 up in this game, we weren't really doing much. I mean, yes, of course we wanted to return to winning ways, so whether we won by 1 goal or 3 goals, we were still going to be pretty pleased because we knew that we were going to revert, come back to winning ways basically. But I still expected a better performance being at home to one of the teams that are really struggling in the league. And yes, we won the game by 3-0. As you'll see, this was the last chance for the game really, as Murray Williams makes it 3-0. But that was pretty much it for the entire game. Like I wanted to show you more highlights, but there were genuinely nothing. We had 3 real attempts, we scored 3 goals, Derby had 1 which didn't save, but other than that, that was it. So yes, we won the game, yes, we're pleased, but we've still got to do better than that. You know, on the grand scheme of things, we win the game by 3-0, you think we'd be pleased, but no, we've got to do more than that. We really do. We've got to show a lot more urgency and put a lot more shots on goal. But that is going to end the episode. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.